Hi, welcome to a new episode of The Young and the Restless. We open up at Sally's and we see Nick brings her hot sauce, and then they discuss her meeting with Chloe. And he tells her about Victor's proposal for him to work with Adam. Then we see Adam goes to the coffee house to see Sharon. Then we see Kyle arrives at the athletic club, sees Audra, and starts gushing over her while she's sitting at the table and he's standing at the door. He stands there and stares her down and gets hippie and excited. Then we see Ashley and Tucker is at society and they do a toast to their success. And at the Habit House, we see Diane and Jack discuss Kyle, and then Jack gets a worrying text and says that he can't believe it. Back at society, Ashley tells Tucker that Jack's phone should be pinging any second now with the press release. Ashley says that she wished she could see Jack's face and she hoped that he feels how she feels having Diane shoved on down her throat every day. And then Tucker says that it's gonna take a while for Jack gets angry. And then we see Jack is at Abbott House and he reads the article about Ashley and Tucker's new company and says that it's outrageous. And then Diane claims that it can't be real. Then we see Audra and Kyle sit down at society and dine. And I'm like, when is Summer gonna come down out of her room and see these two? Because she lives there. Then Audra thanks him for the earrings and Kyle tells him that Audra tells Kyle that she received them in front of Summer, and Kyle doesn't flinch, has absolutely no shock or remorse, like he doesn't care. But she asks if Kyle is trying to make Summer jealous, and Kyle then gets close to her and flirts, not answering the question. Then we see Sally says Victor is unbelievable, and he gives Adam a company. Now he's trying to tear it away, and he's trying to give Adam instructions on how to help to run the company. Sally says that that's not helping the situation, and she finds it infuriating. Back at the coffee house, Adam orders a coffee and Sharon asks his plans for the weekend, and they discuss the kids, and Sharon tries to talk to Adam, but Adam leaves. Then we see Nick is surprised that Sally is worked up about Adam. Sally ignores Nick's question about it and demands that Nick has nothing to do with Adam. Nick thinks that Adam is going to spiral out of control, so he needs help. But Sally vents that she doesn't want Adam a part of her life and she doesn't care. Back at the athletic club, Audra invites Kyle up to her suite, and Audra admires Kyle's attitude of not giving a damn who sees them. But Audra says that she wants to keep her profile, so she doesn't want anyone to see them and think anything. Audra says she's gonna leave first and says that Kyle should follow shortly. Then we see Jack gets word that it is legit that Ashley and Tucker are starting a company, and Jack wonders how it got this far. It got that far, Jack, because you wouldn't listen. You wouldn't listen to Ashley's vents and concern about Diane. If you had just kept Diane out of the company and you pushed her away, that's what happened. But Diane tries to play victim as usual and act like she's blaming herself. It's her fault why Jack and Ashley has fallen apart. Damn well it is yours. But Jack tells her it's not her to be blamed. She shouldn't blame herself. Jack blames Tucker and says that he is through with Tucker and he's gonna confront him. Then at society, Tucker does a mock sketch of Jack to Ashley and they laugh about it. And Tucker thinks that Jack will do something desperate for Ashley to stay at Jabot. But then we see Diane and Jack arrive at society. Back at the athletic club, Audrey gets sexy in her room awaiting Kyle, and he knocks and she lets him in and she drops her robe. Downstairs, back at society, we see Ashley ask if they're going to congratulate them, and Jack says that he is there to speak to Tucker. Ashley says that she makes her own decision, so it's if Jack has any needs, he needs to talk to her. Jack calls her predictable and says whenever she can't get her way, she picks up and runs. She left the family company behind. But Tucker offers to have a conversation with Jack and they go outside. Then we see Diane ask Ashley if she is sure that she wants to go to war with Jack just cause she doesn't like her, and asks what will it take to end it. Then we see Adam is in the jazz lounge on his laptop doing work and thinks about his conversation with Nick. And then I think about it. I'm like, Sally, you are ungrateful. Adam was there with you by your side. You tried to call Nick that night when you were in pain, and Nick didn't even answer you or pay your goddamn mind. And who did you turn to next? Adam. After you pushed Adam away, he shouldn't even have helped you, but he loved his child. But now you want to act like Nick is the savior and Adam is the problem when Nick has been absent all along. But anyways, back to Sally. Sally is sorry and infuriated about Adam, and Nick tries to change the subject to Chloe. But Sally says that she is tired and she can't talk anymore. She wants to rest. Nick offers a movie and Sally asks for space and asks him to go. Then we see Kyle and Audra get sexy and in bed, and Kyle says that he feels like a bad guy again back in his New York days. And I'm like, Kyle is still wearing his ring in the bed, naked with Audra. Then we see Audra talks about loving her job, and Kyle vents about the Newmans, and she offers Kyle a job to be her right-hand man at Newman Media. And then we see Nick runs to Sharon at the coffee house, and she asks about Sally, and Nick says that she's upset at him at the moment, and tells Sharon about Victor's idea and says that it sets Sally off. Nick asks if Sharon thinks that he should work with Adam. Then we see Jack says that if Tucker is genuinely in love with Ashley, he would call it off. But Tucker tells Jack that he has lost his perspective and tells Jack to wish his sister well and leave her alone. But Jack calls him selfish, SOB, son of a bitch. And then we see Ashley says Diane just leaving is no longer enough for her, and she really wants to go and pursue this company with Tucker, and says that it's a matter of time before Diane screws things up. Meanwhile, she and Tucker will nurture and grow their company, and says that they will come in and clean up Jebo when it fails under Jack and Diane. She tells Diane that she will never be a true member of the family, so she needs to get with it. Then we see Sharon asks if Adam even wants to work with Nick, but Nick seems to think that Victor is right, and he will go to keep the peace. But Sharon says that it may hurt Adam, and it seems like Victor is having a lack of faith in him after he recruited him. Nick says that it is a red flag, but he wants to do it. And I'm like, Nick, you're such a naive, self-centered, savior complex heroism. It needs to stop. It's such a turn off. Then we see Audra tells Kyle that Adam is coming after Newman Media and says that Kyle is the perfect man for the job. Kyle likes the idea of crushing Adam's plans up, but is hesitant because of his family. Then we see Tucker calls out Jack for his hypocrisy and says that Jack is scared to go toe-to-toe with Ashley. Tucker walks away and tells Jack to just accept it. Jebo, and as a result of this, I realized that Jebo is falling apart. Like, everyone's leaving. Then we see Nick wants Sharon input, and Sharon gives the pros and cons, and Sharon thinks that Nick should do it. But Nick wants to prevent Adam from spiraling. Then we see Adam is there reflecting on the letter that he left Sally. Then we see Sally is in her bed thinking about the letter. And then Adam thinks about his talk with Audra. Then we see Jack and Diane discuss Ashley, and Diane offers to take him somewhere else. Then we see Tucker and Ashley celebrate, getting under Jack and Diane's skin. Then we see Audra tries to convince Kyle to break away from his family business, and Kyle doesn't want to make a fast decision yet. Kyle wants to make out instead. Looking at all of this today, Jabo is really falling apart and they are pulling each member in opposite directions, which is with my theory that I think that Diane, Audra, and Tucker are still working together. But thanks for watching. Bye.